Hello friends, I'm Tom Downey from Chat Sports, and believe it or not, the NFL Draft is just a month away, so I have my latest first round mock draft, plus one pick for each of the teams that aren't drafting in the first round. Now this is Volume 8, let's take a look at, again, the rules for my mock draft. No trades. I'm trying to keep the quarterbacks higher than we did in the most recent one. That does mean that other players fall, and apologies in advance if you don't like the pick I made for your team. Too bad. I don't know what else to tell you there. If you don't really hate your pick, let me know on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. But we'll get to number one here, the Arizona Cardinals. I've got them taking Nick Bosa with the number one pick. Now, I know there's plenty of Kyler Murray buzz. I think it'd be pretty dumb of the Cardinals to trade up for a top 10 quarterback, fire your head coach, hire a new one, and draft a new quarterback in the span of a year. But if a trade does happen for Kyler Murray, or trade happens for Josh Rosen to take Kyler Murray, it's probably going to happen soon before OTA start on April 1st for the Cardinals. Now again, I'll remind you all, let me know what my punishment should be if Kyler Murray does go number one overall to the Arizona Cardinals. We'll have some fun with this stuff, right? If I look like an idiot, we might as well make me look like an idiot on air. So give me your suggestions for punishments. Keep it within reason. Some of you guys got a little dark last time, and I don't want to take it too far to the extreme. But back to Nick Bosa, the player. Look, he's a fantastic fit for the Cardinals. They need more edge rush help. Nick Bosa comes in and instantly becomes that go-to number one guy alongside Chandler Jones, who's also a number one. That puts you in really, really good shape for the Cardinals. Quinnen Williams makes more sense than Kyler Murray as well. Now, 49er fans, I know you're upset. I know you guys want Nick Bosa, but I'm still going to give you guys an edge rusher here at Josh Allen, number two. By the way, I did at least think about DK Metcalf, though I don't think he quite goes that early. But Allen was much, much better this year. Classic case of a guy that went back to school and really boosted his stock. He, D Ford, Solomon Thomas, DeForest Buckner on pass rushing downs with Buckner and Thomas on the inside. Oh, that's a really good 1-2 punch for the 49ers. So I like Quinnen more as a prospect, not by that much, but Quinnen is my number one overall guy after all. But positional need makes a lot more sense here for San Francisco to take Josh Allen at number two overall instead. We'll move to number three, Quinnen Williams and the New York Jets. I could see a scenario where Quinnen slides like maybe number five, kind of like, by the way, Leonard Williams did a couple years ago with the Jets as well. But Quinnen is worthy of being the number one overall pick. Yes, the Jets have bigger needs, but the value makes a lot of sense here. You can play him with or trade away the previously mentioned Leonard Williams. Either way, he's a perfect fit for the Jets. He comes in as an instant starter. I know the position of that isn't the same as a true edge rusher, but if Josh Allen and Nick Bosa are off the board, would the Jets reach for someone like Montez Sweat? I don't know if they would. In an ideal scenario, though, Josh Allen falls to number three to the Jets. Let's get weird with it. Number four overall, Kyler Murray and the Oakland Raiders. I can hear Mitchell Renz having an aneurysm by me right now, but I like the idea of this. And let's make note, the Raiders have shown interest. They've shown interest in Kyler Murray, in Dwayne Haskins, so maybe it's a bit of a surprise here, but wouldn't it be, John Gruden? I know you say, oh, well, the Raiders already guaranteed Derek Carr's salary. They gave Jordy Nelson they guaranteed his deal and then cut him anyway. I think it could make some sense there for Kyler Murray there to go number four to the Oakland Raiders. I think it's a fun idea. Let me know what you guys think. Grade the mock draft pick of Kyler Murray to the Raiders. I'm talking to you, Oakland fans. A, B, C, D, or F. I am sure there's going to be some Fs. I understand that, but I do think it's at least somewhat of a possibility here, obviously. Number five, Devin White to the Bucs. I like this fit quite a bit. They lose Quan Alexander. Yeah, they signed Deion Buchanan. Whatever. Devin White, the top linebacker in the class. I think defense is the focus here. With Alexander on his way out, now he's in San Francisco, I think Devin White makes a lot of sense to Tampa Bay. This is going to be, I think, a very popular mock draft pick. Tampa, though, I'm sure is hoping that somehow Quinnen Williams falls to number five overall. Now, today's show is brought to you guys by BetDSI, the internet's number one sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code on your screen, Live120. If you're already out of your March Madness bracket pool, go make some real money on BetDSI betting on the games. Chatsports.com/bet, and that promo code Live120 gets you bonus money, 120% of whatever you put down. So if you still get some picks wrong, you got plenty of extra time to earn it back with BetDSI. Let's move to number 6 and the New York Football Giants. Dwayne Haskins, I think the Giants like him. The worst possible outcome here for the Giants is they take some average defensive lineman, edge rusher, and then take like Daniel Jones at number 17. But Giants fans, you've been through a lot. I'm not going to do you like that, at least not right now. I think Haskins would be a very good fit in New York to either play right away or, more likely, sit for a year behind Eli Manning. Now, should the Giants go quarterback in round 1? Give me a 1 for yes, a 0 for no. It does depend on if you believe in a quarterback. I think I'm willing to take Dwayne Haskins in that top 10 because of the value of quarterbacks. I'm not taking Daniel Jones. That's my only other option. But if Haskins is on the board, I think it makes a lot of sense for the Giants at number 6. Let's move to number 7, Juwan Taylor. Yes, the Jags signed Cedric Ogbuehi. I'll let you guys in on a secret. He's actually terrible. He was so bad, the Bengals thought Bobby Hart was good compared to him. That's how bad he was. So, yes, Ced's in Jacksonville. That does not solidify the right tackle position. Juwan Taylor would, though. Comes in right away. Very talented offensive lineman, very smart as well. Instant day 1 starter on the right side of the line. By the way, I thought about going offensive skill position here too. Maybe DK Metcalf, maybe TJ Hawkinson, but Taylor, I think, makes some more sense. Maybe Irv Smith, the top of round 2 for Jacksonville instead. To number 8, the Detroit Lions. Now, yes, they signed Trey Flowers, but the Lions were very smart in free agency. They filled most of their top holes. Now they can pretty much go best player available. Maybe that's Hawkinson. Maybe that's Greedy Williams. I'll give them Montez Sweat instead, who, yes, has that heart condition. Everything I've heard is that it's fine. It's not even as bad as Mo Hurst's. And after all, that popped up at the Combine, and he was still clear to participate there. He's fine. So I like the idea of Montez Sweat. And think about this little foursome in terms of on passing downs. Montez Sweat, Trey Flowers on the outside, Deshaun Hand, and now there's some combo of Damon Harrison or Ashawn Robinson on the interior. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch. You can still work in Romeo Okwara as well. So Sweat goes off the board, number 8. I like that pick, even with the addition of Trey Flowers for the Detroit Lions. Number 9, the Buffalo Bills. A very similar situation where they took care of a lot of their needs by signing different players. I thought about DK Metcalf, thought about TJ Hawkinson, thought about Ed Oliver. But I do think Rashawn Gary goes somewhere in this 6 to 15 range, somewhere in there, probably more 6 to 14 range. That's kind of the landing spots for Rashawn Gary, who very, very good athlete. The production wasn't all that great at Michigan. You've heard me say that many a time, but a team will like him. And I think a spot like Buffalo, he could play 4-3 defensive end or 4-3 defensive tackle, is actually a very good fit for him. Let's go to number 10 then, Drew Lock. I still believe, regardless of the addition of Joe Flacco, that Denver is looking at quarterbacks. They're certainly exploring the option. They're bringing them in for visits. And Drew Lock fits the John Elway mold at quarterback, right? A very classic Elway type of player. Very much a risk-reward. The mechanics are not that great, namely the footwork. The arm talent's clearly there. The production improved late in the season. If he sits here behind Joe Flacco, that could maybe actually finally work out at quarterback for Denver. Number 11, Devin Bush off the board. I think his range, in all honesty, maybe as high as 6. That's kind of a bit on the upper echelon. 2, he's not getting out of the top 20. And the Bengals at 11 are a perfect landing spot if Devin White is off the board. Those two are clearly the top 2 linebackers this year. And Bush is a little bit undersized, but he's an elite athlete. I think he would be a fantastic fit in Cincinnati to come in and instantly be a starter for them. Yeah, they brought back Preston Brown. There's not a whole lot more there at the linebacker spot, especially with Vontaze Burfict out. So Bush at 11 to the Bengals, I like that fit a lot. I also like this fit, TJ Hawkinson to number 12. Now, this is my post-free agency mock draft. Pre-free agency, it was Brian Burns or an edge rusher. You bring in 2 Smiths, Preston and Zadarius. You don't really need one anymore. So let's take Hawkinson, who, at least for me, and I know many others out there, he's actually the top offensive skill guy, i.e. top receiver, tight end, or running back. Hawkinson goes at number 12. You can do whatever you want with Jimmy Graham. He's good enough to block and still be used on passing downs. He's not the premier athlete that Noah Fant is, but he's still a well above average athlete. He would be a great fit in Green Bay. And yes, I did actually think about DK Metcalf here, but we'll get to him in just a little bit. But I like that fit there. Hawkinson at number 12. Number 13, Brian Burns. And if quarterbacks go early, other elite players will slide down. One of those is Brian Burns. He brings the length and the speed. Now, he does need to add, and more importantly, keep the weight on his frame. Weighed in at around 250 pounds at the combine, and then ran really well. So if they told you Burns was too skinny, they were not telling you the truth there. So I like the idea of Burns because the Dolphins need all kinds of help. Edge is one of those key positions. Now, I did hear from a Dolphins fan before we filmed this about making sure the Dolphins took Ed Oliver. I gave you Brian Burns. So Dolphins fans, who would you rather have? Type EO for Ed Oliver, type BB for Brian Burns, and let me know why on Twitter. Go follow me and DM me at WhatGoingDowney. And speaking of Ed Oliver, number 14 overall to the Atlanta Falcons. I like this fit. Perfect fit at the 3 technique for Atlanta. There are some size concerns for the Falcons. For Oliver, I'm not going to overthink this. He is a top 5 player in this year's class. Yeah, the sack numbers aren't that great. The tackles for loss certainly are. He's a gap penetrator. Let him be in that attacking style defense, which I think fits pretty well in Atlanta. He's going to have a lot of success. Much like Jonathan Allen, for example, there's always a good DT that ends up sliding further down than he actually should in the NFL draft. Now, if you guys are tired of commercials on TV, namely during March Madness, because they always cut away in the midst of a very important final possession there, go download the My TV Choice app at mytvchoice.com. Instead of commercials, it's going to put content like ours from Chat Sports right onto your TV. It's the best way to go about it during March Madness. No more commercials. Instead, you'll get awesome sports content. That's the My TV Choice app at mytvchoice.com. Number 15, there's always going to be a player or 2 or 3 that I have a tricky time actually finding the right spot for because 3 quarterbacks went in the top 10. This time around, it's DK Metcalf. He's a freak athlete despite, the iffy agility drills, and by iffy I mean pretty poor, but he's a size speed freak. The production was up and down, mostly because of injuries, so maybe that does drop him a little bit more than, say, top 10, but if the Redskins get a chance to take him at number 15, that's a really good pick, and Redskins fans, you're welcome that I did not mock you Daniel Jones this time around. Now, will DK Metcalf be a top 10 pick? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I think maybe the Niners, although I don't think he's going to go quite that early. I think the Giants probably won't. The Jags, Bills, and maybe the Lions could. But if he gets out of that top 10, Bengals aren't going to go receiver, I don't think. I don't think Dolphins would. Falcons won't. So maybe the Packers, I think, is a possibility. And then if not, he falls to 15 for the Redskins. Number 16, Jonah Williams off the board. I hope that Carolina learned their lesson last year where their quarterbacks kept getting hurt because their offensive line was bad. Yes, they brought back Darrell Williams and they have Taylor Mott, and those two can both play tackle. But you still need offensive line help, and Jonah's the best one on the board. Play him at left tackle. Play him at right tackle. Play him at pretty much any spot on the offensive line, and it's going to work out. So move Mott to guard for a year, move Williams to guard for a year, move Jonah to guard for a year, whatever. Either way, let's solidify the left side of that offensive line, and Jonah Williams does that in a big way. I also thought about maybe a corner. I thought about Greedy here. And of course, edge rusher, also a big need for Carolina. Let's move to number 17, Andre Dillard. Remember, this pick is as a result of the Odell Beckham trade. Now, with Nate Solder in town, you're going to move Dillard to right tackle. That's fine. The Giants have 2 big needs beyond quarterback: edge rusher and offensive tackle help. I think that Dave Gettleman's MO is going to be to target an offensive lineman either at pick 17 or maybe at pick 6 if they don't go quarterback. Then it becomes an edge rusher later on, but Gettleman's MO, as it turns out, is not actually to invest in an edge rusher early. Hasn't been what he's typically done in Carolina. Number 18, maybe a surprise pick here, Christian Wilkins. The Vikings need more help in the trenches, be it at guard or on the defensive line. And yes, they re-signed Shamar Stephen, but Wilkins is the type of player who I'm probably going to grade out more around the top 20, top 25, but is going to go earlier because he might not be a superstar. He's going to be a starter, and NFL teams and coaches are going to love him. He is that type of player and person. He's going to go a little bit earlier, maybe even than this. I would not be stunned if Christian Wilkins was your surprise top 15 pick, maybe even over some other notable defensive linemen. Number 19, Garrett Bradbury to Tennessee. He's a center, but he can also play guard. Both of those spots, mostly guard, is a big area of need for Tennessee. Number 20, Greedy Williams to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's got flaws, plenty of upside though as well. This is the type of prospect Pittsburgh could target, and I think in general, especially with the Browns off the board now, the corners could slide a bit. I don't know if Atlanta or the Redskins or the Dolphins will. That could push them outside the top 15. Minnesota, I would assume, is not going to go corner. I don't think the Giants will. I don't think the Titans will. So that could push down a corner like Greedy Williams, who again is my number 1 cornerback this year. I think he'd be a very good fit for Pittsburgh. I don't see him getting much further outside of the top. Let's just say 24 in that Pittsburgh, Seattle, Oakland Raiders range. So Greedy Williams goes off the board there at number 20. A great pick for Pittsburgh. Number 21, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Before I get to him, I do want to mention, I thought about going dark horse here. Watch out for a wide receiver. I'll just throw that out there as an option given Doug Baldwin's recent injury problems. Now, Seattle does tend to do some pretty weird stuff in the NFL draft. I always have a tricky time mocking for them because they do stuff like ignore offensive line or take Rashad Penny in round 1. So I think Gardner-Johnson goes in this outside the top 20 range. He could play nickel corner, a big need for Seattle, or he could play safety, also a pretty sizable need there for the Seattle Seahawks. So Chauncey Gardner-Johnson there goes number 21 overall to the Seattle Seahawks. Kind of checks off 2 birds with 1 stone there in the end for Seattle, either nickel corner or outside safe or defense, in the end. But let me know, who do you think the Seahawks will draft in round 1? Again, they're a tricky team for me because they tend to do weird stuff. So let me know, at least if you don't know who you think they'll draft, who you want them to draft if you're a Seahawks fan. Number 22, Hakeem Butler. Drops remain a concern, but a 4.48 40-yard dash at his size, that's pretty impressive. The Ravens are once again revamping their wide receiver core. Hakeem Butler comes in, you're in good shape. Number 23, Cody Ford. My Texans mock picks are going to be very simple. Who is the top offensive lineman? They take him. They have got to find more offensive lineup. Cody Ford can play right guard or right tackle, gives them some positional flex. Now, if Raiders fans were mad for me picking Kyler Murray, I did get you guys an edge rusher. I got you Clelin Ferrell. Isn't that a pretty good 1-2 punch if you're Oakland? They obviously need pass rush help, and I think Ferrell might slide a little bit more than I would let him slide because he's not the best athlete. In reality, the athleticism is average to below average. But I'm not going to ignore the production either. I think he's going to be a very good pass rusher. He's not going to be Khalil Mack. He's not going to be Nick Bosa or Josh Allen from this class or Montez Sweat. But I think he's going to be a very good player in the NFL. And if you're Oakland, you probably want to spend multiple picks on the spot anyway. Now, today's show is brought to you guys by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code LIVE120 for a 120% deposit bonus. So if you got some March Madness picks wrong, it's okay. You still got plenty of extra money once you sign up and deposit using that promo code LIVE120 at chatsports.com/bet. Number 25, the Philadelphia Eagles. I had a tough time figuring out where I wanted to go here because Wilkins was off the board. I went with Nasir Adderley instead. I think the Eagles want a young safety, and Adderley's one of the few true single high guys. Those guys are tough to find. So for the Eagles, you bring him in. He's your number 3 safety for a year. Yeah, you sign Andrew Sandeo as well to a 1-year deal. But I kind of like this fit. So Eagles fans, let me know. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. To number 26, A.J. Brown, one we've mocked before. Yeah, they brought in Devin Funchess. Whatever. A.J. Brown can fit, I think, pretty well with T.Y. Hilton. I also considered a cornerback here, but the Colts, I'm very curious to what they end up doing. Last year showed they do things differently than I would do, which is fine. Number 27, look, Oakland, I also got you a tight end and Noah Fant. We have one rule this year, all right, everybody? The Patriots are not allowed to get one of the Iowa tight ends. We cannot let it happen. it would just be a disaster for the rest of the NFL. So Fant goes to Oakland, immediately replaces Jared Cook. All of a sudden, your receiving core looks really good. Noah Fant, Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams. You can use J.J. Nelson. That's a really, really fun group there for Derek Carr, or in this case, Kyler Murray. Number 28, Dalton Risner to the Los Angeles Chargers. He can play every spot on the offensive line. And for the Chargers, go play him at right tackle. Some are saying, oh, you should move him to guard or center. Don't overthink it, guys. Quit trying to take really good tackles and play him at guard. Just let them stay on the outside. That would really help the Chargers' offensive line. Number 29 overall, Byron Murphy. And very fluid in coverage. Look, this is great value for the Chiefs. They need cornerback help. Byron Murphy comes in, and he immediately becomes, maybe not your number one, but he immediately becomes a starter. That's a big thing for Kansas City. And by the way, watch out for the Chiefs to trade up in the NFL draft. They have the ammunition and need help on defense. Number 30, N'Keal Harry to the Green Bay Packers. Randall Cobb is gone. Harry can play outside or inside. Maybe you make him into a big slot for Aaron Rodgers. We know he can do some dangerous after-the-catch stuff there. Get him involved on screens. I like the fit here for N'Keal Harry. And now, if you're Green Bay, you keep Devontae Adams. Do whatever you want with Jimmy Graham. You add T.J. Hawkinson and N'Keal Harry to a very potent offense. That's fun for Aaron Rodgers. Number 31, DeAndre Baker to the Rams. Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters. I don't trust their long-term futures in L.A. I thought about offensive line, didn't love the value. Thought about defensive line, maybe there, but I think they're going to keep Michael Brockers. Edge is fine. Let's give them Baker, who, as expected, did not run that well at the NFL Combine. That's going to make him slide. I think he'd be a good fit in LA, who was showing that they don't really care if you're not the greatest athlete or have some whatever off-the-field concerns. All right, folks, say goodbye to commercials on TV with the My TV Choice app. Instead of having the commercials late in the game during March Madness, how about you get some awesome sports content, like stuff from Chat Sports? Yeah, go download the My TV Choice app at mytvchoice.com. The app knows when a commercial comes on, and instead of having infomercials, you get awesome content from Chat Sports and more. That's mytvchoice.com. Our last first-round pick, how about Jerry Tillery? Now, knowing the Patriots, they'll trade this pick or do something outlandish or get some great value or go move up for a tight end or something. If they stand pat, I like the idea of Tillery. Now, they'll tell you he has off-the-field concerns or whatever because he kind of isn't 125% focused on football, likes to do his own thing sometimes. I don't have a problem with it, but we know how the NFL is. But for Tillery, I think he'd be a really good fit in New England as a penetrator, and they certainly need more pass rush with Trey Flowers on the outs. Let's recap my round one here, and then we'll get to the non-round one picks. Bosa, Allen, Quinnen, Kyler Murray, then Devin White at number 5, Haskins at number 6 to the Giants, Jawan Taylor at 7, Montez Sweat at 8. Rashawn Gary goes number 9. I still believe in Drew Lock to the Broncos, Devin Bush to the Bengals, and T.J. Hawkinson to the Packers. Brian Burns goes number 13. Love the fit of Ed Oliver. DK Metcalf goes 15. And Jonah Williams goes 16 in the really good players that just happened to slide out of the top 10. Andre Dillard at 17 to the Giants to help protect Eli Manning or hopefully long-term Dwayne Haskins. Number 18, Christian Wilkins off the board. Garrett Bradbury at number 19. Greedy Williams at number 20. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson goes number 21. Hakeem Butler to the Ravens. Cody Ford to the Texans. And the Ravens get Cleveland Ferrell at number 24. And they get Noah Fant at number 27. You're welcome for going Kyler Murray too, Raiders fans. You're in great shape long term. Nasir Adderley 25. A.J. Brown 26. Dalton Risner number 28. Byron Murphy goes number 29 to the Chiefs. N'Keal Harry to the Packers. DeAndre Baker to the Rams. And then Jerry Tillery to the Patriots. Now, speaking of the Patriots, should they go quarterback in round 1? Give me an A for yes, B for a no. Daniel Jones was on the board. You guys know I don't like Daniel Jones. But if he goes to the Patriots, he'll probably become like the second greatest quarterback ever. That is just kind of how things tend to work out when you get involved with the New England Patriots. They're just so good at developing different types of players. We'll move now to round 2. The Cleveland Browns, number 49 overall, Taylor Rapp. Very good safety. I could maybe see him go late round 1. He played both in the box and deep in college. I think he's better near the box. He'd be a really good fit with Demarius Randall in Cleveland. Now, there was a run on safeties between the Browns pick and the Cowboys, so I didn't go safety here, though I would prefer to go with someone like a Juan Thornhill. Abram was well off the board, by the way. So how about we go very different for a Cowboys mock draft pick? Christian Miller. When he's healthy, he's a really good pass rusher. That showed up this year. The problem is, he's not always healthy. Had he played in every college game, he'd probably be a first-round pick. But he never did, and the injuries are a big, big red flag there. So Cowboys fans, I know it's different than what we've done. Grade the mock draft pick of Christian Miller to the Cowboys. If you want somebody else, let me know who in the comment section, but I would venture to say, based on what I saw, most of those guys were actually off the board in this mock draft. Number 62, I just want to have fun with Drew Brees in his last year. Andy Isabella. Super fast, comes in, instant impact guy at receiver, help replace Tommy Lee Lewis and maybe Ted Ginn at some point. Isabella to the Saints would just, the rich get richer on offense. And finally, the Bears, I didn't like the corners or safeties on the board, so I went different for Chicago. Miles Sanders, number 88 overall. I like him quite a bit. He's my number 2 back. If he's on the board for the Bears in round 3, just take him and then maybe even decide to trade away Jordan Howard, which has been rumored for quite some time. But those folks were your non-first round picks in this mock draft. If you really like it or hate it or just want to talk draft, go DM me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney.